Tent, hut, present, humps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free, oh my God, and the home of the brave.
Order. Thank you, Sophia. You may all take your seats. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Michael Froio, Deputy Chief of Police and Executive Officer with the Bridgewater State University Police Department. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all to this very special occasion. I'd like to thank the President's Office staff, specifically Kelly Salisbury, Colleen Belmore, for their hard work and assistance to make this event happen today. Thank you to Nick Burns from the University Events Department and to the Sodexo staff for the excellent food and service this morning. We are honored to have a distinguished group of special guests who will be speaking today seated up front with me. Frederick Clark Jr., President of Bridgewater State University. David Tillinghast, retired Chief of the Bridgewater State University Police Department. Glenn Anderson, Chief of the Bridgewater State University Police Department. And Christopher Delmonte, Chief of the Bridgewater Police Department, and very close friend to Ray Wise. I want to take a moment to welcome and recognize Representative Dennis Gallagher, who joined us this morning. Thank you for being here, sir. Additionally, we are privileged to have in attendance police chiefs, fire chiefs, and law enforcement leaders from all over the Commonwealth. Thank you all for being here today. I want to welcome Ray's family, his wife Virginia, his daughter Catherine, his daughter Jessica, her boyfriend Sean, his grandchildren Michael, Mason, and Madeline. Today we gather to honor the memory and the legacy of Lieutenant Raymond D. Wise, a dedicated officer, a respected colleague, a steadfast leader, and a friend. In recognition of his service, enduring impact, the entrance to the Bridgewater State University Police Department will now bear his name, Lieutenant Raymond D. Wise Memorial Drive. Lieutenant Wise tragically passed away on June 29, 2004. At the time, he was an active and devoted member of the Bridgewater State University Police Department, where he served with distinction for 13 years. Lieutenant Wise was a mentor, a leader, and a reflection of the values we strive to uphold: integrity, service, and compassion. I had the honor and privilege of working alongside Lieutenant Wise from the time I joined BSUPD in 1999 until his passing. Throughout those 5 years, he was more than a boss. He was a mentor, a steady leader, and someone who led by example every single day. His commitment to the mission of the department and his dedication to the people around him left a lasting impression on me, both professionally and personally. He believed in building others up, and he always took time to offer guidance, support, and encouragement. His leadership style taught me the value of integrity, consistency, and compassion. Watching how he handled difficult situations, mentored us younger officers, and made decisions both with fairness and firmness inspired me to grow in my own career. When the opportunity to apply for a lieutenant position arose, I did so, I apologize. I initially decided that I was not going to apply, and Ray changed that. He challenged me to rethink my decision and encouraged me to apply for the position. His leadership gave me the confidence and the foundation I needed to step into a greater role. I'm proud to say that I was promoted to that position back in 2003 as a direct result of the lessons he instilled in me and the standard that he set for what it truly means to lead. Ray was without question a professional through and through. He gave 100% to this department, to this community, and to the people he worked alongside every day. But anyone who knew Ray also knew this: behind the uniform was a personality that you could never forget. Ray had a gift. He could break the ice in any situation. He had a way of saying that thing that everybody was thinking, but nobody had the courage to say. And he'd do that with that grin, just to let you know he was both joking and just a little bit serious. Ray understood something important, that leadership isn't about giving orders. It's about connecting with people. And Ray connected with people in the most human way possible. He knew when to be serious, when to be supportive, and when to lighten the mood with a perfectly timed comment. Sometimes appropriate, but most of the time, not so much. Soon after Ray passed, I was at their house with his wife, Ginny, as she was cleaning out his closet of uniforms and equipment. She would hand me things asking if we could reuse them, if they could continue to serve a purpose. One of the pieces I took from her was Ray's duty belt. It didn't fit me. He was a much smaller person than I was. But I held on to 4 of his belt keepers, and I still have them here with me right now. For 21 years, I have worn one of Ray's keepers on my duty belt every single time I put that belt on. It's a small piece of leather, simple, worn, but to me, it's been a quiet and constant reminder of Ray, and it's a way of keeping him, part of him close. Every time I put on my duty belt and I fasten that keeper, I'm reminded of his legacy, his integrity, the kind of officer and man we all respected. It's the small things, maybe, but sometimes the small things carry and hold the biggest weight. Lieutenant Wise's legacy continues to guide my work every day, and I'm grateful for the time I had to learn from him. And I try to carry his example with me in every decision that I make and in every person that I now have the privilege to lead. It is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker and to acknowledge and express our heartfelt gratitude for President Clark's unwavering support of our police department and this dedication ceremony this morning. His leadership and commitment have made a significant impact on our ability to serve and protect our community with the utmost dedication and integrity. Please welcome to the podium President Frederick W. Clark, Jr.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike, for all of your work in bringing us together and all the folks that you referenced that leaned in to make today happen. We also want to acknowledge State Representative Dennis Gallagher. Thank you for being with us as we pay tribute to a person who deserves all of us paying tribute to. I want to welcome law enforcement, public safety officials that are all here, members of our town community, but also of our Bridgewater State University community, members in particular of our BSU Police Department, but a special welcome to Ray's family, his wife Virginia, his daughters Jessica, Catherine, grandchildren Michael, Mason, Madeline. To the Wise family, thank you. Thank you for allowing us the privilege of working with Ray. Thank you for sharing him with us, for supporting his service, and for allowing us to honor him in this way today. Thank you. I also want to thank retired Chief David Tillinghast. I'm in my 11th year as president here at Bridgewater State, and we talked about Ray Wise often leading up to this very moment. I thank you, Chief, for being with us today. I want to thank Glenn Anderson, our current chief, Deputy Chief Mike Froio, the command staff, but really the entire BSU Police Department for being here today and for their leadership. I want to thank the Town of Bridgewater Police Department, Chief Chris Delmonte, who's also the president of the Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association. That's where I had the privilege of meeting Ray's family just a few months ago. So thank all of these leaders who, in my mind, have kept alive the flame of Ray Wise's memory and his sterling example. They've kept it burning brightly, from my perspective, for 2 decades, more than 2 decades. Here at Bridgewater, we are very, very, very proud of our BSU Police Department. We've been proud for as long as I've been associated with this university, which is now 41 years. This year, we were ranked as the 3rd safest college or university in America, number 3 in America. Last year, we were number 4. And as I told Chief Glenn Anderson, you see the progression that we've made 4-3, so we have expectations here. But we also sit in a community, and we're proud of this, the community of the town of Bridgewater, which has been ranked the 25th safest college town in the United States of America. Safety is job one for us on this campus, but also in this great town that we're a part of here in the town of Bridgewater. And while these facts are true, we also understand that all of our current achievements here at Bridgewater State are built on a foundation of excellence established by others over many, many years. Lieutenant Wise is an important part of that foundation here at BSU. He was an active and devoted member of the BSU Police Department, where, as you've heard, he served for 13 years. And during that tenure, he had numerous vital roles. Before becoming a lieutenant, he was a court prosecutor, a detective, detective sergeant, patrol sergeant, firearms instructor, and an EMT. He contributed to public safety across southeastern Massachusetts. Prior to his service with the BSUPD, he served as a part-time police officer with the Bridgewater and Whitman police departments. He was a parking control officer for the town of Bridgewater and briefly a full-time officer with the Lakeville Police Department. So his roots run deep in our community, and his professionalism earned him the respect of his colleagues and citizens throughout this region. But he was more than just a police officer. He was a guiding force within our department. His legacy is a symbol of resilience, dedication, excellence, and strength. He embodied the values that law enforcement, and this department in particular, strive to uphold every single day. You will hear those values over and over, and that's what we're celebrating today, those values, those enduring values. He served with distinction, demonstrating courage, integrity, compassion throughout his career. His commitment to protecting and serving went well beyond duty. He was a trusted leader, mentor, and a friend to many, and to many in this room. Lieutenant Ray Wise's example is a guiding light for how we hope and expect our BSU Police Department to conduct itself every single day. An English Prime Minister, Benjamin Disraeli, once said, "The legacy of heroes is the memory of a great name and the inheritance of a great example." Not all heroes wear capes. Not all heroes play sports. Some heroes wear a badge. And heroes are remembered for their good deeds and for inspiring others to be their best selves. Today, thanks to a unanimous vote by our Board of Trustees for this university, we remember one of our heroes and immortalize his name and his example through the Lieutenant Raymond D. Wise Memorial Drive at the Police Department. So on behalf of a truly grateful university, congratulations to the Wise family and to all of the friends that are gathered here today. Thank you.
Thank you, President Clark. It's my honor to welcome and introduce our next speaker, a distinguished law enforcement leader whose over 3 decades of service and dedication to Bridgewater State University have left a lasting impact on both the BSU Police Department and this community. Throughout his career, he led with integrity, vision, and a steadfast commitment to the safety and well-being of others. His leadership has shaped this department in ways that will be felt for years to come. Please join me in welcoming retired Chief David H. Tillinghast.
Today we gather to remember and honor our colleague and friend, Lieutenant Ray Wise. Ray was a cornerstone of our department's spirit and progress at a critical stage of its development. Ray was a friend, yes. In the case of Chief Delmonte, his best friend. But for many of us, Ray was a leader and an example, and maybe in part because he was somewhat older than most of us, he was even a kind of father figure as well. Ray was just overall a good guy. His family was what was most important to him. He was strong but small of stature and had a Hulk Hogan-style handlebar mustache. He was a weightlifter and fitness buff, but allowed himself Cape Cod pizza once a week on Friday evenings. He was a fan of American Idol, which is still going. He had a wicked sense of humor. I use that term advisedly. And he was always ready with a sarcastic joke. But everybody referred to Ray as a cop's cop, even during his lifetime. It was because of his love for police work and desire to advance the department that with other BSUPD officers, Ray didn't suffer fools gladly, and if he had a low opinion of someone or their work, he routinely shared it with them, right to their face. From the standpoint of a chief, it was often a helpful management technique if you could get away with it, and he did. Even his adversaries respected him. Ray always wanted to be a cop. He came late to law enforcement in our department, but attaining this goal only fueled his love of the work and his love of the BSUPD. Ray flirted with leaving the department once, taking a job with the municipal police department, which was then seen as the epitome of police work. But to his credit, he admitted he didn't like that department as much as ours, and we welcomed him home. I'm glad I kept his resignation letter in my desk drawer. I was in law school when Ray passed away, and they pulled me out of class when it happened. Ray had died at his home shortly after working his shift. I will never forget that moment. I had just told Ray that day that his promotion to deputy chief had been approved. Everything we have built in the BSUPD since Ray's passing is in some way attributable to Ray's dedication to the department, his love of the work, and the relationships he forged. When I hired Ray as a police officer, the department was not as it is today, and its future really could have gone either way, achieving success the way it did, or relegated to the dustbin of history. Ray helped in a very substantial way to put us on the right path. Those of us who knew Ray still miss him. This memorial will commemorate for future generations the esteem we feel for Ray and all that he accomplished. He was a cop's cop, to be sure, and I am extremely grateful to President Clark and the university's Board of Trustees for bestowing this honor on Ray and adding to his legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who was recently promoted to Chief this past November. In just a short time, he has already made a tremendous impact on our department. His leadership has brought fresh energy, a clear vision for the future, and a deep commitment to supporting our officers and the community we serve. From strengthening partnerships to enhancing training and resources for our team, Chief Anderson has proven that he leads with not just authority, but with integrity, collaboration, and a genuine dedication to make BSUPD the best it can be. Please join me in welcoming Chief Glenn J. Anderson.
Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to stand here with you today for this special and long-awaited tribute, the renaming and dedication of the street leading to our police station in memory of Lieutenant Raymond Wise. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to thank President Clark for making this possible, and Chief Tillinghast for initiating this dedication and never giving up on seeing it through. I thank you both for your vision, your persistence, and your commitment to honoring Ray's legacy. It means a great deal to all of us. For those of us who had the privilege of knowing Ray, we know he was much more than his title. Ray was a dedicated officer, a loyal friend, and above all, a devoted husband, father, and family man. He was the kind of person who lived his values every day, not just in uniform, but in the way he treated everyone he met. Ray was what we call in this profession a cop's cop. I think we heard that before. He loved the job, respected the badge, and held himself and all of us to the highest standards of service and integrity. He was steady in crisis, wise in his counsel, and compassionate in his approach. His word carried weight because it was always backed by action, and his actions were always grounded in what was right. To me, Ray was more than a colleague. He was a friend. We shared laughs, challenges, and countless conversations that I still think about today. I learned from him, leaned on him, and trusted him. And I know I wasn't alone in that. Ray had a way of making you feel heard, valued, and respected, no matter who you were. It's been 21 years since Ray's passing, and yet his presence is still felt in this department and this community. His influence is woven into the fabric of how we serve, how we treat each other, and how we carry ourselves as officers and people. From this day forward, every time we turn into the police station, we will see Ray's name. It will remind us, and generations of officers to come, of the example he set, and it will remind us to lead with integrity, to work with heart, and to serve with compassion. It will remind us that while a badge can represent authority, it is character, kindness, and dedication that truly earn respect. Ray once traveled the very path to serve his community that now will bear his name forever. A lasting tribute to a man who gave so much of himself to others. A family man, a cop's cop, a good and compassionate man, and a true friend. And finally, on behalf of President Clark, I would like to present flowers to Ray's wife, Ginny, and Ray's two daughters, Jessie and Katie. I would also like to present gift bags to Ray's grandchildren, Michael, Mason, and Madeline. If you all could join me at the podium.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Over the years, our department has built a strong and enduring partnership with Chief Delmonte and the Bridgewater Police Department, one rooted in trust, collaboration, and a shared commitment to the safety and well-being of our communities. Chief Delmonte was also a very, very close friend to Ray Wise. Their friendship was a testament to the respect and camaraderie that exists within our law enforcement family. Today, as we honor Ray, it's especially meaningful to have Chief Delmonte here, carrying forward that legacy of friendship, service, and dedication. Please join me in welcoming Chief Christopher D. Delmonte.
So where do you begin? Well, I can tell you where we begin. I really, and I know it's been said, but I really have to thank President Clark and the Board of Trustees here at the University. President, this is a very unique honor. We in this profession, oftentimes the job that we do in law enforcement is a thankless profession. We accepted that role, but every now and again, a community or a university, for that matter, recognizes somebody who's truly unique and special, not only to the university, but to the community, and that's what you've done here. And I can't thank you enough. And I know that's built not only on you, President Clark, Chief Tillinghast, Chief Anderson, Deputy Chief Froio, all of you made this happen. And it does not happen without that kind of effort and dedication. And I really want to thank you for what you have done. You deserve special recognition for taking the time to do it. I want to thank you for never forgetting Ray. It's been 21 years. And seems like it was yesterday. On behalf of the active and retired men and women of the Bridgewater Police Department, thank you for recognizing the contributions of Ray, not only for your university, most importantly, but also to the community and our police department. Ray had a long-lasting impact, and a lot of you have said it. We're here because of Ray and the impact that he had on people. Not just on the profession, but it's amongst the people. To improve, we know we need to build our personal lives and professional careers around people that are trustworthy, that are genuine, that are reliable. That was Ray. That's what we all did to make ourselves better. This is an honor that Ray never would have expected, but he would be overwhelmed to see here today. And he probably would have had a few choice comments, but I invited public television to be here. So I will reserve what Ray probably would have said had he seen this taking place. As you know, just a little bit of background. Ray came to law enforcement a little bit later in life from his time as a truck driver. And he worked his way up. I think the president talked about a lot of the jobs and assignments. Ray wasn't afraid to work, and he did that. Worked his way up with us. He was a parking control officer, and I can tell you there were a lot of people that were real happy to see Ray when he was working as parking control. But he did the job, and he did it honorably and with integrity. And then he came to BSU, and he did exactly the same thing, whether he was a police officer, administrator, supervisor, he did exactly the same thing. Well, that life experience gave him really unique perspective, something that was very valuable to younger officers. He had a lot of life experience, and it motivated him. Ray was the first one who wanted to volunteer. He'd volunteer to help out at the police academy. He'd volunteer to wear the bite suit. He just wasn't afraid to do it or even give good advice, plain, simple, straightforward advice. He lived his words. I can tell you that I would not do justice should I come up here and not tell at least a couple of small stories, so I'm going to do that. He'd be pissed at me if I didn't. I remember when I was in the police academy and they needed volunteers for patrol procedures. And you know, patrol procedures are one of those places where you're really kind of learning the hands-on part of it. And I took a lot of pride in being at the police academy, and I knew Ray, he'd be the first to help out, and he volunteered. And, you know, when we went to patrol procedures, we still had to have ourselves spit shined and ready to go at that time. That's how they wanted us to kind of learn in that environment, as if we were police officers on the street. And we were over at the Brockton Fairgrounds, and there were a series of scenarios, and the scenario was we had a domestic violence scenario, and Ray was the bad guy in this one, and I did not know until I walked into the scenario. I knew he was there for training, and I didn't realize that it was Ray, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. And wouldn't you know, his assignment was to be the violent husband who was not going quietly. So wouldn't you know, I'm thinking, I'm walking in, oh, this is Ray, this is going to be great, we're going to take him into custody, we got this all taken care of. And I had a fight with him. I had a fight with him in this room in the Brockton Fairgrounds. And you know, I said to him afterwards, you know, you son of a gun. Like, you know, this could have gone easier. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to make me go through the whole situation, right? And I get down the end of it after everything was all said and done, and I said, and worst of all, would you look at my shoes? I have spent weeks shining these shoes, and you took the luster right off my shoes. But that's who Ray was. Ray wasn't going to give it to you easy because he knew it wasn't in your interest to give it to you easy. He was going to make you go through it. He was going to give you the best advice, but he was also going to make sure that you went out fully equipped to handle what you were going to face on the street. And that was always a good example of Ray. And as has been mentioned here, you know, Ray grew up the street from the Cape Cod Cafe in Brockton. And I think Burnt Edge Pizza was part of his DNA. He lived that way, and we went there every week on Fridays. And it was a good experience to sit and talk. A lot of times we talk shop and we talk our stories. And I remember going there, and my son Brian, who's here, I don't think I ever told my wife that we may have accidentally slipped some of that Burnt Edge Pizza into his bottle, but we brought him at a very young age. Brian was only a few months old, and I remember bringing him into to the Cape Cod, and we saw the same waitress there almost every week, and she knew exactly who we were. She put us in a nice table, and the only thing that had really changed was, of course, me and my wife Andrea. We welcomed our first son Brian, and I thought, well, this isn't going to change a thing. We're going to bring the old baby bucket, right? We're going to bring it in to have some Burnt Edge Pizza, and as has been stated, Ray was a little older. He wasn't an old man by any stretch, but he was a little older than I was. But I brought him in and put him down on the floor in his usual spot off to the side here. And Ray went up to use the bathroom. The waitress came over and she says, "Oh, it's nice to see you again. I saw you guys last week." And she goes, "You're here alone. Where's Grandpa?" And I thought, That's perfect. You just need to hold on to that for 5 minutes until Ray comes back from the bathroom. And you got to say the same thing to him. And so Ray got his share of ribbing as well, right? Had the roles been reversed, Ray would have told a different story. I also brought something with me. Something that's been in my office for the last 21 years. And so proud of my trophy. And I know Chris Shaw's in the back of the room. He was part of our team on the day before Ray passed. We played in a golf tournament, Southeastern Mass Chiefs golf tournament. And myself, Chris, Ray, and Carl McDermott. And it was the last time that we really got together. As you know, he passed the next day. But we went out onto the course, and it was a best ball tournament. And as you know, best ball tournaments are great for bad players. And that's what we were. But great friends, good conversation, and professionals. These are some of the professionals that I got to work with. And we were out, and we went to the tee, and it was Ray's opportunity. He was going to go first. And he wasn't big of stature, and I think the club he was swinging was probably taller than he was. But he got up there, and Ray put his heart and his soul into it. He wanted to have the good drive so we could all be good partners and everybody play each other's balls. And he put everything he had into it. And he hit the dirt. And the ball didn't move. And he drove what must have been a 2-pound divot. And it looked like a flying ferret. And Ray had spun himself right into the ground. Nothing had changed. And we didn't know what to say because he had driven himself so hard to try to hit this ball that he had clearly missed, but got plenty of the ground. And I just remember him turning around and in a kind of a quiet voice just said, "I think I broke my arms." And as a result of that example, we received this trophy, which is dead last in the tournament. And I can't say that I've ever experienced a tournament where they give awards for coming in last place. I don't think I've been in a tournament since then. I don't think I had been there before. And we were recognized in a best ball tournament for coming in last place. And unfortunately, that trophy meant more to me than I thought it would. And I've kept it ever since. We may have been dead last, but Ray was first rate. There are 3 things you knew about Ray. You were always going to get honest advice, whether you liked it or you didn't. He was a man of integrity, and his deep and abiding love for his girls, without question. To Ginny, Jesse, and Katie, on behalf of Andrea, Brian, Allison, and Jonathan. A heartfelt thank you for sharing your husband, your father, and a man whose principles and impact can still be seen in the very fabric of who we are today. Ray was proud of the women you were. He would be equally proud of the women you are today. To his grandchildren, Michael, Mason, and Madeline. You too can be proud to know how important your grandfather was to many people and how blessed they felt to know him. Count myself among them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Before we close today, I would like to invite Chief Anderson back to the podium, along with Ginny, Jesse, and Katie.
So we're gonna ask you to sing the closing song.
So let me start by Celine.
On behalf of President Clark, I'd like to present each of you with a framed portrait.
Thank you.
You want to turn that around and get a picture? We won't make you sing. It's okay.
She's a good singer. Thank you. Yeah.
As we dedicate this road in his name, we remember Lieutenant Wise, the mentor, the friend, and yes, the man who could make us laugh in the middle of the most challenging and difficult days. The street will guide people to the BSU Police Station, just as Ray guided so many of us through our careers and our lives. We miss him, we honor him, and somewhere with a Cape Cod pizza and a beer, I'm pretty sure Ray is shaking his head right now saying, "They named a road after me?" Lieutenant Raymond Wise Memorial Drive. Not just a street sign. It's a symbol of lasting respect and a reminder of a life dedicated to duty and service, and a promise that Lieutenant Wise's legacy will never be forgotten.